There is that moment before each fight, when the air quiets. Your fists clench, your mind gets loud. And in that instant, most people panic. They allow fear to guide, but a Stoic remains stationary. Because the Stoic understands, life is an endless battlefield. Not every fight is fought with a sword. Some are fought with silence, with patience, with the power to remain calm. When everything within you yells to shatter, you see, Stoicism doesn't eliminate pain. It shows you how to go through it without breaking. It is not about faking the storm isn't happening. It is about being the sort of person who can go through the storm and never be lost. Centuries ago, Roman warriors learned philosophy, not to sound smart, but to live through chaos, because they understood. When discipline breaks, when fear consumes you, when plans go wrong, only philosophy holds you up. That is what we've lost today. We live in comfort, but crumble at discomfort. We scroll, compare, complain, and call that struggle. But the Stoics, they endured real storms and forged their minds like armor. And if you desire to triumph over your battles, mental, emotional, or spiritual, you must forge that same armor. Pause. Dramatic beats. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." That is not poetic. It is a war order. When the world inflicts suffering, a Stoic utters, "Good." When treachery wounds deep, a Stoic utters, "Now I know loyalty." When all fall down, a Stoic murmurs, "Now I get up stronger." This is the warrior mind, and Stoicism is the forge. Each warrior has two enemies, the one beyond and the one within. Most lose to the second. They battle phantoms of doubt, fear, rage, and pride, and never know that the real war isn't going on out there. It is going on in their own mind. The Stoics understood this more than anyone. They referred to it as the discipline of perception, because how you perceive the world determines how you meet it. When a weak mind looks at an issue, it sees failure. When a Stoic mind looks at the same issue, it sees a challenge. Epictetus, who was born a slave, once stated, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Those weren't empty words, they were his truth. He was beaten, belittled, and cast aside by his master. But rather than allowing anger to consume him, he converted that anguish into insight. He learned, you may chain a body, but you can't jail a disciplined mind. And that is what Stoicism is all about, the art of inner victory, because no matter how powerful your muscles, how grand your goals, how loud your voice, if your mind cracks under stress, you lose. The Stoic conditions his thoughts like a soldier conditions his target. He doesn't allow emotions to lead, he commands them. When others respond, he waits. When others complain, he acts. When others plead for ease, he opts for hardship, because that is where development is hidden. Pause. Cinematic contemplation tone, reflect on it. Your biggest wars in life, weren't they waged in silence as well? Late night hours, when nobody witnessed the fight. Times when fear whispered more loudly than your bravery. Times you wanted to give up, but something within you muttered, "Not yet." That voice, the one that instructed you to stand when all the world instructed you to fall, that is the Stoic voice. That is the warrior's equanimity. And when you locate it, once you discipline it, you can't be stopped. Because whether or not things go well, you never lose your center, the one thing every human runs from. But the Stoics ran toward. They didn't seek comfort. They sought control, control over their reactions, control over their emotions, control over how pain shaped them. Because they knew, pain is not your enemy. Your reaction to pain is Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher. King faced betrayal, war, plague, and the slow collapse of his empire. Yet, In his private journal, the Meditations, he wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." That is Stoicism distilled into one line. Whatever stands in your way, pain, rejection, loss, humiliation, is not there to stop you. It's there to forge you. The Stoics treated suffering like a blacksmith treats. Fire, every blow of the hammer, every spark of pain, didn't break them. It molded them. Seneca was one of the wealthiest men in Rome, and yet he practiced poverty every month. He would eat cheap bread, wear rough clothes, and sleep on the floor, just to remind himself, I can survive with less. He was building mental armor because comfort makes you fragile, discomfort makes you fearless. And here's the truth no one tells you. The world won't protect you from pain. It will give it to you, relentlessly. You'll lose people, you'll fail in silence, you'll be laughed at, forgotten, betrayed. But if you face that pain the Stoic way, you stop being a victim and you start becoming invincible. When pain visits, don't ask, why me? Ask, what is this trying to teach me? Because every hardship is a hidden teacher. Every loss is a lesson in disguise. Every failure is fuel if you choose to burn it. And that's how Stoics prepared for battle. They didn't just endure pain, they absorbed it, learned from it, and transformed it into strength. So when life breaks you down, don't ask for it to get easier. Ask to become tougher. That's what Stoicism demands. That's what warriors do. In the next part, we'll explore the Stoics' greatest weapon, discipline, the quiet force that builds power when no one's watching and wins wars long before they're fought. There's a strange kind of strength that comes when you stop reacting. When the noise fades, the insults lose their power and chaos can no longer pull you apart. That's when Stoicism becomes something more than philosophy. It becomes your armor, because the truth is, life doesn't get easier. You just get harder to break. Marcus Aurelius, a man who ruled the most powerful empire on earth, wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." And that's what Stoicism trains you to do. Act, not argue. Endure, not complain. Respond, not react. In a world built on emotional triggers, that calm is your rebellion. Every battle, whether it's heartbreak, failure, rejection, or loss, begins inside you. If your mind collapses, it doesn't matter how strong your body is. If your emotions rule you, it doesn't matter how sharp your strategy is. So the Stoic prepares, not for comfort, but for chaos. They don't chase peace in a peaceful world. They build peace within, so that when war comes, they're already ready. Imagine standing in the middle of an argument, insults flying, anger rising, but inside, you're untouchable. Your mind isn't racing, your heart isn't panicking. You breathe, you think, you choose. That is the power Stoicism gives you, the power to pause, because the pause is where your freedom lives. Seneca once wrote, "He who is brave is free." And bravery to the Stoic is not found in swinging fists or shouting louder. It's found in staying calm when the world expects you to shatter. The Stoic doesn't avoid the fire, they walk into it, because they've learned that what burns away is the weakness, and what remains is the truth. Every hardship, every insult, every loss, it's fuel to strengthen their discipline, fuel to sharpen their reason, fuel to refine their soul. There's a line from Epictetus, "Difficulties show what men are." And that's the essence of Stoic battle. It's not about winning against others, it's about mastering yourself so completely that no one can make you lose control. That's what Stoicism teaches, to stand steady in storms, to speak softly in chaos, to move forward when the world wants you to quit. Because one day you'll look back and realize the people who tried to break you actually built you. The battles you thought would destroy you actually defined you. And the pain that once scared you became your teacher. That's Stoicism. That's how you prepare for any battle, by realizing the war is never out there. It's always within. And once you win that war, there's nothing left to fear. There's a reason Stoicism has survived for over 2,000 years. Because it doesn't promise comfort, it promises strength. It doesn't teach you how to escape pain. It teaches you how to endure it, transform it, and rise above it. Every great warrior, every leader, every survivor shares the same truth. They've all faced chaos, and they've all learned to be still within it. That's the Stoic way. Not running from fear, but facing it with quiet courage. Not chasing happiness, but building meaning. Not waiting for life to be easy, but training so that you are unshakable when it's not. Epictetus was once a slave. Marcus Aurelius was an emperor. Seneca was a statesman. 3 men from different worlds, yet bound by one idea, that no matter where you stand in life, your mind decides your freedom. You might not control your circumstances, but you always control your response. That's the battlefield of life. That's where Stoicism wins. You see, the world will test you. People will betray you. Dreams will fail. Plans will collapse. And in those moments, you'll have 2 choices: break or build. And the Stoic builds. Because pain isn't punishment, it's preparation. Every setback forges patience. Every failure sharpens clarity. Every rejection strengthens resolve. When others panic, you breathe. When others quit, you adapt. When others seek comfort, you seek control. That's not indifference. That's discipline. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." And that's what Stoicism really gives you. The strength to stay centered when the world spins out of control. To lead yourself when no one else can. To keep your dignity, your clarity, your peace, no matter what storms come your way. In the end, every battle you fight, from heartbreak to ambition, from loss to victory, is an invitation to rise. And Stoicism doesn't just prepare you to fight those battles. It transforms you into someone who no longer fears them. You don't ask for an easier life anymore. You train for a stronger mind, because when your soul is still, your purpose is clear, and your will is unbreakable. You've already won. So the next time life tests you, remember, you are not here to avoid the storm. You are here to become the storm. That's how Stoicism prepares you for any battle, not by teaching you to escape pain, but by forging you into the kind of person who can walk through it and come out stronger, calmer, and utterly unshaken.